Hey everybody, so welcome back to my health and wellness channel. So it's been a little bit since I've done a video. Things have been kind of busy. However, I'm back with a really great recipe for the fall. So it's starting to get cold outside, right? So people like to eat soup. And this is one of my go-to recipes for the fall. And it's one of my husband's favorites. It is chicken dumpling soup. I did not come up with this recipe. Disclaimer, this is a Rachel Ray recipe. I used to watch her show all the time on TV and, read her magazines. And this is one of my favorite recipes of hers. So what I got is you want to get a soup pot, pretty big soup pot like this. And I already turned the heat on to medium. And I put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil in the bottom of the pot. So you want this to warm up. For maybe about 2 or 3 minutes before you add in your vegetables, okay? So what I'm gonna add is I'm gonna take 4 ribs of celery, 2 onions, whatever kind of onions you have, doesn't matter, I'm using yellow here. And I'm gonna do about a bag of cut carrots, and I'm just gonna cut these in half. I'm gonna add some salt and pepper, some bay leaves, and some chicken stock. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut up the vegetables first. So you wanna cut these up pretty fine pieces. And guys, this is a really easy recipe. I mean, the prep time is like 10 minutes, cook time is about 20 minutes. So really this can be ready in 30 minutes. And when you're, needing a recipe that's quick and easy and on the go, this is perfect for that. And feel free, I mean, if you don't like a ton of celery, you can, modify. You don't need to put as much celery in it, if you don't want to. It's totally up to you. You can even add different vegetables if you want to. But this is just like the typical vegetables that you would add in chicken soup. Just cutting these up. And I'm gonna go ahead and as I cut each vegetable up, I'm gonna add it to the pot so it can start cooking. Go ahead and cut up my onion. Like I said, if you don't like, you could use red onion, yellow onion, white onion. It doesn't really matter what type of onion you use. If you don't like a lot of onion, don't add as much, but usually about 2 small onions should be enough for this recipe. And as I've said in previous videos, I do not measure. I get a lot of my cooking skills from my grandmother, so. Like I said, I'm just chopping and dropping. That's what I'm calling it. Chopping up the vegetables and dropping them in the pot. And once you have them all in the pot, you're gonna let this cook for about 5 minutes because you want the vegetables to soften up. Okay, last veggies that I'm adding are the carrots. I'm just cutting these carrots in half. You can also use, I've used in the past shredded carrots, so I've just, dropped those in if you're looking to be even faster cooking, but it's up to you. I actually may just add half of this bag because because that might be enough. Okay, I'm gonna add the bay leaves. So just enough, I'd say about a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of bay leaves. Okay. I'm gonna just stir this up in the bottom of the pot here. And as you can see, I have it on about medium heat. Okay. I'm gonna add some pepper. And the bay leaves give it a little extra, kind of makes it like you've cooked it all day type of soup, but really you haven't cooked it all day. So I like the flavor of the bay leaves. So I'm gonna let these veggies soften for about 5 minutes, guys, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add my chicken stock to the pot. All right, so the veggies have been cooking for about 5 minutes, and so I'm gonna go ahead and add my chicken broth or chicken stock, whichever you have on hand. So each one of these containers is 4 cups, so I'm gonna add a whole one of these containers. So that's 1, and then half of this container. So I'm gonna let this come up to a simmer. So while that's working, I'm gonna go ahead and make the meatballs. So you can either do ground turkey or ground chicken, okay? So I have ground turkey today. So you want about a pound of that. I'm gonna add that to my bowl here. I'm gonna use 1 egg. Use about a cup of breadcrumbs, which these breadcrumbs are already seasoned. They have parsley in them. If you are using unseasoned, you can go ahead and add parsley to that. And then I put some Parmesan cheese, about a half a cup. Like I said, guys, I don't measure, I estimate, so feel free to use your measuring tools. And then I use about two pinches of nutmeg, I say. So 1, 2. And if you have garlic on hand, which I don't have garlic, and you can either use garlic powder or chopped garlic, and you can add that as well. But it's good either way without it. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix these up. And once my chicken stock comes to a boil, I can add these meatballs. So you can see I'm just kind of mixing them up, making sure it's all evenly distributed. So you want the meatballs to be not real big, but not real small, kind of like this size, okay? So when you drop them in, once the water's to a boil, we'll drop them in. About a pound of meatballs, it usually makes about 16 to 20 meatballs. So I'm dropping in the meatballs. So the water is boiling right now, as you can see. And I'm just dropping these in one at a time. And once they're all in here, I will turn down the heat to about around a 2 or 3 on your stovetop. And I'm gonna let this simmer for about 10 minutes. That's just to make sure the meatballs get cooked the whole way through. And if for some reason, guys, if you watch this and you are a vegetarian, you don't eat meat, you could just leave the meatballs out and just add the gnocchi and some more vegetables to the soup. So either way, it's good. It's a good fall dish because it's good when it's cold outside, like today. So perfect time to make soup in the fall. All right, so as you can see in here, I have the meatballs. They're cooking. You can see them, you know, they're turning pink to cooked. You can tell when they're starting to cook by what they look like. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn that down to simmer and let them cook for about 10 minutes. All right, so last but not least is the best ingredient, some gnocchi, okay? So they're like dumplings, potato dumplings. You can get these in any grocery store. Most grocery stores sell them. So I'm just going to drop these in. Give it a good stir. Okay. And I'm going to let this simmer for about 5 minutes. And then the soup will be done. All right, so the soup is done. And we are going to go ahead and just spoon it out. I'm going to actually use a ladle. Okay, so that's what it looks like in the bowl. And stay tuned. I'll be back next week with another video. Have a good night, guys.